Yo, what is happening, guys? Thank you so much for joining me. Episode 249, I believe, of the Michael Lab Show. We're here. Happy January 15th. Happy January 18th. We are right on track, 3 days behind. What's going on, guys? Sorry about last week. Again, I apologize. I don't really think I should be apologizing anymore. I moved, right? So there's just a lot of things happening. Studying, a lot of moving parts. Let's just say that. I can let you guys in a little bit more probably next week. Not this week, but most likely next week. I can go ahead and tell you guys what I've been studying for. Like I said, it is for the job. Can't really go in detail, much more detail than that. I think it's been about 3 weeks now of studying, and I was able to schedule an exam. We just got about a foot of snow in Roanoke, which was expected. I should have took my exam yesterday, but because of the snow, I didn't want to schedule it and possibly have to reschedule it because of the snow. So I went ahead and just scheduled it for Wednesday. So for next episode, I'm going to let you guys in on what's going on. I'm either going to be in a really good mood or I'm going to be like bummed out. But I'm feeling really confident with what I'm studying. I have like this little textbook. I've listened to the textbook one way through with the training program, and then I've actually read the textbook front to cover. It's about 228 pages. And then I also got a for dummies version of the test, and I read that all the way through. I've taken a bunch of tests, a bunch of practice exams. I'm feeling super confident with the material. I listen to Squawk Box every morning, so I can kind of like implement what I'm learning with what I'm listening to. If you know what Squawk Box is, you can probably put together the pieces. But yeah, everything seems to be going well. We're settling in. I'm kind of balling on a budget here. I haven't had a job for about a whole month now. I think December 18th was my last day of work, so I haven't worked in a whole month. I'm technically hired, but I'm not working. I'm not making money yet. So I haven't worked for about a whole month, and I have, money to spend, but it's much harder to spend money when you don't have money coming in. You know what I've realized since I've been a housewife for the past month is you people, I don't know if I should say it. You don't deserve a pay. You don't deserve money. I don't know how I don't know. If you have kids, I think it's a different story. If you have kids, I can understand the idea of doing a lot. But just being at your home, your apartment, you don't really do shit. I mean, I'm not really doing much. I'm cooking for myself. I'm cleaning the house, the apartment, vacuuming. I'm feeding my shark. We have like a baby shark, Dirac, named after Paul Dirac, a great theoretical physicist. Like outside of that, studying all day, every day. That's all I'm doing. I have gotten back into reading. I haven't read since Harry Potter. That was a while ago. I don't know when that was. That was my Goodreads. That was before Christmas. Probably November is when probably before that, October-ish. Probably middle of November, I stopped reading. After I finished Harry Potter, I read one more book about cyber attacks, and I haven't really read since then. Ever since like the beginning to the middle part of November, I've just been studying for the job, like nonstop. It's probably been the most stressed I've been in like the last 3 months. It's kind of like when you're depressed. Like you don't really realize you're depressed until you're not depressed anymore. And for the past 3 months, I've kind of had like this veil of like, holy crap, I'm stressed because it's important stuff like a job, a career, graduating school, not working anymore, moving, not just moving, but moving to a different state. It can be a little stressful. And you don't really realize, I didn't really realize that I was stressed until I've started studying this material, and I'm at a point now where I feel like if I take the exam today, I could score probably mid to high 90s. Like I'm feeling really good about the information. It's really fascinating stuff. It's what I do all the time. And It's kind of cool to think that I could possibly have a career with something that I love, something that I study every single day with or without this job. I will still study this stuff every single day. It's what I do. It's what I love doing. I've fallen in love with it for like the past 2 to 3 years. If you guys have been listening to the podcast, if you know me personally, you probably know what I'm talking about, but it's right up my alley. I'm passionate about it. I think it's important. I teach people about it, not teach people about it, but like I talk to people about it when it comes up in conversation. I'm not afraid to talk about it. So just the idea that I could turn my passion or something I care about that I do every single day into finances, which to like personal finances is exciting. It's really exciting for me, and it's a pivotal moment. 2022 is going to be a wild year. Wild year. It's going to start off with me without a job and then ending with me with a decent job. It's going to start off with living with my parents to living on our own. It's going to start off a lot of ways. It's going to end up in a beautiful way. And, I was talking to Taylor about this. We kind of put ourselves in this position. Our relationship is fascinating. We've been together for about 5 years. And, we go on and off. Like sometimes I need to just support her really hard, a lot. Just be there for her and, take care of her and, push her and, protect her. And, she does the same for me. Like when I was studying for my last exam, which I don't think I've really talked about yet, but I did pass. I did pass it. I told her, I sat her down. I said, hey man, I sat her down the day after Thanksgiving and I was like, hey man, I just want to let you know, like, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this, and I'm nervous about this test, the material I'm learning, but I didn't know any of it before it started. And, I want to do well. I'm sometimes I'm like embarrassed because I feel like I haven't done anything in my life, and it's weird because I'm starting to realize now, and I think it's a good thing to realize at this age. I started realizing earlier in my life, but there's nothing that's really, if you're looking at accomplishments to give you fulfillment, you're not going to find it. I'm starting to realize that, like, getting an apartment is nice, but in my eyes, it's just what you do. Marriage is going to be the next thing. A house is going to be the next thing. And like, this is just part of the path. But I think what's really important, what I've learned is what's really important is when you are like doing something that's hard, or you're doing something that's going to require a lot of your time, you need to tell yourself, hey man, you need to block off this time. You need to do it. You need to focus on it. You need to work hard on it. But at the same time, if you're with somebody, there's two options. You either don't communicate that with them and you try to act like you're not stressed, like you try to act like nothing's going on. That's probably not going to work out. And trust me, I've tried to do that one before numerous times. But then there's also the other option. The other option is you're open. You say, hey man, like I did back in November, middle of November, I was like, hey man, I'm stressed. I really want to do well. I want to do well for us, but I need to get this thing done and I need to check this off. Otherwise, I'm not going to be in a good mood. Otherwise, I'm going to be stressed. So can you just kind of focus on me? Can you kind of just put all your attention on me? If we can do that, then I know we can. I know I'll be in a better position. And we did. Sometimes selfishness allows you to enjoy life more. Sometimes you just have to be selfish, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's this misconception in the world that a relationship is, I don't know if it's a misconception, but what a relationship is to me is a compromise. Everything's a compromise, and it's a give and take. And sometimes you have to be selfish, and the selfishness will actually help the relationship more than if you're not selfish. So, that's important. I think that's really important. And right now, I would say, and I think she would agree, that I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm being selfish, maybe a little bit, but if anything, I'm focusing really hard on what I have to do, and it's going to pay off in dividends. No pun intended. That's so funny. I didn't know whenever people used to say it's going to pay off in dividends, I didn't know what they were talking about until I got into like the market and I got interested in it. Like, oh, dividends, you get paid off of that. Like they pay you for that. But anyways, so I didn't do a podcast last week. I apologize for that. I'm going to try to do a podcast on Thursday. We'll see how Wednesday goes. It all depends how Wednesdays goes. I have my exam at 8 a.m. on Wednesday. So if I pass my exam, I'm most likely going to do a podcast. If I don't pass my exam, I'll be in a shitty mood. So I either A, do a podcast and it's horrible and I'm angry and you guys would probably like it, or B, I don't do a podcast and, or I do a podcast and I'm really happy. So we'll see. If a podcast doesn't happen on Thursday, it's probably because I didn't pass. If a podcast does happen on Thursday, it's because I did pass. So that's that. But it's been a wild, it's been a weird culture change moving to Roanoke. Coming from Maryland, you have this weird, I've been trying to figure out, Taylor and I have been having numerous conversations every day about this. And the conversations revolve around COVID, COVID and politics. And we're really good at talking about that stuff. Like, I would say when I first started dating her, I was pretty conservative. When she first started dating me, I would say she's pretty liberal. But we both kind of taken a little bit from each other. I'm much more liberal than I've ever been. And I would say she's a little bit more conservative than she has been. And I think we're both independent thinkers, and I think that's really powerful. Moving from Maryland to Roanoke, you have there's this weird change of just the way people interface with the world and the way people look at things. Coming from Maryland, there was everywhere you went, you just felt like if you didn't wear a mask in Maryland, you knew that you're being judged. Like Maryland, I knew the rules, right? I knew the rules of Anne Arundel County. In Anne Arundel County, they couldn't enforce a mask, and I think they're trying to do it now, but I don't think they have legality to do it. One of my friends is actually putting together I would basically say a class action lawsuit, because what Anne Arundel County has, what they've trying to do is they're trying to, the city council voted for no mask, and then the health department came out and said you got to wear a mask, but the health department doesn't have the grounds to do that. So I don't know how they're going to do it. There's no rules. Like if you don't wear a mask, they can't do anything to you. There's no disciplinary action for that. But I just like before that happened, when I lived there, I knew legally if I went anywhere, I did not have to wear a mask. I knew the rules. If I went into a government building, if I went to a doctor's office or an office in general where there's healthcare workers, you did have to wear a mask. So I knew that. So I would. I also knew if I went to a private business and the sign said, please wear a mask, I would wear a mask. Even though legally I didn't have to, but also those are their rules. So I'm going to follow their rules. Even if I disagree, I'm going to follow the rules. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves are people who go into a store when they're asking you to wear a mask and you refuse to wear a mask. It's like, you don't go there. Why are you there? Like, I don't know, because that's a rule for the business. It's like when you go places and say you have to wear a shirt and shoes. Like, do that. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. That shit's annoying to me. Like, maybe it's because I've owned a business before. Like, I've had clothing companies before, and I have a podcast, and like, there's a lot that goes into it, and like, frankly, if the store is asking you to wear a mask, like, just do it. Even if it's like a box store. I don't know. In my opinion, I don't like that. You should follow the rules of a store because it is a store. It's their store. They work hard for that. And, you don't know if the owner of the store is like 96 years old. You don't know anything. But outside of that, if I don't have to wear a mask, I'm not going to wear a mask. That's that. But I remember like going shopping in Safeway. Everybody would have a mask on. Even when I worked at the gym, some people would have a mask on. Like, I would say if there was 100 people working out, 15 probably had a mask, 15 to 20. In Roanoke, it's like COVID is not a thing. It like doesn't exist. It's wild to think about. Like when we go to Crunch Fitness, that's where we work out here in Roanoke, there's nobody with a mask on. I don't even think about putting it on. I asked him, I was like, how was it with COVID? She said, well, we shut down for 2 months when we reopened. Nothing since. Like, nothing. Like, they don't wear masks. Like, it's a weird thing. Like, COVID, I'm very outspoken on COVID, like on social media, because I think there's a lot of bullshit going on behind the scenes. And that's just my personal opinion. I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm vaccinated first and second dose. I'm not going to get the booster shot though. And the reason for that, like Taylor went ahead and got her booster shot and I didn't get it, which was totally fine. And it's weird because I remember the first shots, we were under this idea that if you got the shot, you wouldn't get COVID. And then over time, that's just not true at all. The vaccines do not protect you from spreading COVID and or getting COVID. It might help you not die from COVID, but also being healthy will also help you not die from getting COVID. And we know that, that's not even debated anymore. But I did not want to get the booster because in my personal opinion, well, for two reasons, because with the booster, without the booster, I wanted to get the shot because I didn't want to get someone else sick. Because in my head, if I got COVID and I spread it to someone, I would feel bad. But in my head also, the shot would stop me from getting COVID. Okay. I've never been worried about me getting COVID. That's never been an issue. I don't care. If I get COVID, it's fine. It's not going to hurt me. I truly believe that. And the statistics would also believe that. I'm in shape. I'm 25. I'm healthy. I eat fine. I work out. I run. Like I won't die. Like I may not even know I got it. But the first two shots I got because I didn't want to spread it to somebody else. Okay. When I got the second shot, I felt like hell. I couldn't sleep. I was shaking all night. I was freezing. I felt like shit. I almost threw up. I couldn't sleep. I was sweating all night. It was horrible. I hated it. And I've heard that do healthier people have more reaction to shots. Let me see. Do younger people have better reaction? Why do I not have reaction to COVID booster? It's likely to relate to variations of the immune system. Well, I don't know. I've heard that people who have a very healthy immune system, they react more to the shot, and that's because your body goes right when you get the shot, your immune system starts pumping immediately. There's no delay. It just goes after it. I felt like shit. Immediately when I got the second shot, I was like, I don't want to do this again. Like I do not like if I got the same symptoms the first time, I probably wouldn't got the second shot. But I knew that if you got symptoms the first time, you probably wouldn't get the second time. If you got them the second time, you probably didn't get them the first time. So that was my reasoning to get the first two shots. And then as this new Omicron variant is dying down, which it is dying down if you just look at the numbers, and everybody's going to get Omicron. I'm sure I've had Omicron. I know, I don't know if I want to say that because I don't know if that's popular information, so I don't want to say that. But after I noticed that everybody was getting Omicron, the United Kingdom is ending their COVID passport this month because they're useless. Like they're useless. They don't do anything. After the CDC has been here. Okay, here. The argument against the CDC cutting down from 10 days to 5 days is because they need more nurses. I get it. They need nurses. They need employees because so many people are getting sick. My issue, I have an issue because they fired nurses and healthcare workers who didn't get the shot. They fired them. They're not allowed to work anymore. And then it turns out that this variant does nothing for the shot, and now they need employees. I was always against that. I don't think you should have to do something to work. I don't want to get into that. Never mind. Let's just stay with me and my boosters. So I didn't want to get the booster because everyone's getting sick. People are getting sick left and right, boosted, not boosted. So in my head, I go, I don't want to have to deal with side effects if it's not even going to work. So I didn't get the shot. Taylor got the shot. She was not feeling good for about a day and a half. And she has a really high pain tolerance. I got a bitch pain tolerance. I got the worst pain tolerance in the whole world. It's the worst. But you just overall, back to Roanoke, you just feel like people here just don't worry about things. Like in Maryland, people just constantly worry. Like in Annapolis, just people are just bitching and complaining about everything. Like, if you told people here that they had to start wearing a mask again, they would be like, what for? And they wouldn't say it like being an asshole. They'd be like, is there a new sickness? Because they've been done with COVID since June of 2020. Because there is a thing which people don't realize, especially in Annapolis, that worrying about COVID, being scared of it, is almost like a privilege. Like around here, a lot of people work jobs where like it's hard. You know, they're not just plugging in numbers. They're not just, you know, making phone calls. Like they're working. Like they're doing asphalt. Like they're plumbing. They're building shit. They're coal mining. They're driving 18-wheelers. Like they're doing hard jobs. Jobs that, I'm sorry, but you can't be away from for 2 months. Like you need to do it. And these people can't afford to give a fuck about COVID. They just can't. They go, what's the death rate? 0.01. I'm going to take my chances because I need to feed my family. And there's this weird thing with COVID where it's like the places that are most stringent about COVID are the wealthiest, most, maybe, I wouldn't say, liberal, but the places where you can almost afford to worry about it. You can afford to stay home. You don't have to go look for a job anymore. You know, I heard this number on CNBC, Squawk Box. I don't know who it was, but the lady was like, she worked it was a recognized organization. I might have been associated with the White House. I'm pretty sure it was associated with the government. But she said that the Biden administration has not produced a new job since taking over. And all they did was match the jobs that were pre-pandemic. And when I heard that, I was like, damn, man, like that's crazy. There's so much nonsense going on. Like this idea that our economy is growing the most it's ever have. Well, that's what happens when you print money. When you put, $5 trillion into the system. There hasn't been a job that's been made. Only thing that's happening is people are going back to work. And this unemployment number that we have right now, United States. The unemployment unemployment rate. Yeah, unemployment rate right now is 3.9%. But that's not accurate. Like it was 14.7 April 2020. It was down to 3.6. And then it was up 2009. But it's not true though. That's the issue. It's like there's people who are just not looking for work anymore. And if you're not looking for work for a certain period of time, you don't even get counted. So this number's not accurate. Like it's just not, it's accurate in the sense that if you go by the legal definition, it's true, but overall it's just not true. And I think there's this idea that our economy is like pumping. There's GDP, it's growing, and yeah, we're going to do well, right? The United States is the United States, and it's going to do fine. But there's just this weird thing in Roanoke where it's like people don't even think about COVID around here. They just don't. It's not a thing. Like they will not shut down the economy. Like if they shut down the economy, it's game over. People are going to lose their mind. On top of that, we got a new governor, Glenn Youngkin. I think it's Youngkin. Youngblood. It's Youngkin, I'm pretty sure. And he was just inaugurated on Sunday. I think it's Glenn Youngkin. There he is. Glenn Youngkin is an American businessman and politician currently serving as the 74th governor of Virginia since January 15th, 2022. A member of the Republican Party, he defeated former Democrat Governor Terry McAuliffe. And he's going hard. This guy's a smart dude. He's a Harvard Business Graduate School. He's worth $300 million. He's worth $440 million. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had like a private equity firm. First thing he did in office was he banned forcing masks on kids in school, which I'm so for. Like, I don't think you should force. Here's my viewpoint on that. I don't think you need to, as a school, force kids to wear a mask. I think the decision is for the parents. I think if the parents want the kids to wear a mask, they should be allowed to wear a mask. And in my opinion, if you wear a mask, you shouldn't worry about someone else wearing a mask. And if you are worried about it, then wear 2 masks. But this idea that everybody has to wear a mask is nonsense. To me, it's complete nonsense. In addition to that, if you're a teacher, I know you're not getting paid that much, but if you have shots and you have boosted, why are you worried? That's just my opinion. But the first thing he did when he got voted in office was he signed off executive order, said no more mask. You can't do that in school anymore. And the issue with that for him, the issue that's, gonna continue for him is that most of Virginia is okay with that. But Northern Virginia is not Virginia. Northern Virginia is Democrat, liberal, and they are people that side with mask. And I know that because that's where I've lived my whole life. I've always lived around Alexandria, and they're very, they're right outside of DC. DC now has like this new bullshit passport system, which is complete nonsense, which is insane to me. I don't understand what they're doing in DC. I don't understand, like, I don't know if I want to get into it. I'm not going to get into it, but DC is complete nonsense. Like, they don't know what they're doing. What's her face? AOC, the senator in New York City, she's freaking out. She's been trash talking Florida for the past, 2 years, saying they're a deathbed. They don't care about the people. They're killing people, whatever, all this nonsense. And then she goes to Florida, doesn't wear a mask, goes to a drag show, maskless, partying, drinking, having a great time in Florida, and then gets COVID. It's crazy. Like, it's complete nonsense. The hypocrisy is absurd. I think that's what upsets me the most. Is these people say one thing and then they don't follow through. They don't do that again. Like if I was a resident in New York City and I voted for AOC and I'm cheering her on, you go girl, you stick it to Governor DeSantis. He's a bad person. Mind you, Governor DeSantis is really smart. He went to Harvard. He was a Marine. Pretty sure he was a Marine. He's a smart dude. He's a veteran. He works hard as hell. I don't think he's a bad person. And he also is going to be the president. If Donald Trump does not run, if Donald Trump runs, he will win. He absolutely will win. And I'm not even trying to be political here. That's just what's going to happen. But if he doesn't run, Governor DeSantis is your next president. There's just no way around it. Biden has completely folded. And I'm not even trying to be mean. He just has folded. Nothing that he has said has happened. Everything is falling apart. I'm still super, America's America. We're going to be fine. And the more and more I read, the more I realize, like, yo, we're fine. But you just, I don't know. I think you got to let the parents decide. If the parents want their kids to wear a mask, wear a mask. If the kids don't want the kids to wear a mask, don't wear a mask. It's just that simple. I don't know. I mean, the COVID is, if you still worry about COVID, like, I don't want to say that because I do worry about, I actually don't worry. I don't, it doesn't cross my mind once. It really doesn't. Only time I remember that we're even in a pandemic is when I go to the shelves and everything is like 7% higher. Gas prices are higher. That's another thing out here. Gas prices are so low. We can get gas for $2.75 a tank, bro. It's awesome. And to be fair, like, the average household only makes $29,000 here, though. So it's not nearly as wealthy. And we get a lot of snow. Like, a lot of snow. Like, we just had a foot of snow 2 days ago. But that's that. We have a new governor. Governor Youngkin. I'm excited. I'm happy that our governor is a Republican. I think that's good, in my opinion. So, what's going on, guys? I'm trying to see what's going on in the world. Have you seen this crazy volcanic eruption in the hit Tonga in the Pacific? Here's what we know. There's this crazy video. They probably have it on CNN. I know Joe Rogan posted on his Instagram, but there's this wild video of this underground volcano. It explodes in the Pacific Ocean, and they have like this video. It's from a space shuttle, a satellite, whatever. I'm an idiot, so. Also, don't listen to anything I say here. And if you do, then God bless you, man. I'm sorry. It exploded in the ocean and it created tsunami warnings. But it shows you like how sensitive we are, like just how fragile we are as a country or as a world. You hear that? I think someone just took a massive shit. I wonder like who can hear me while I'm doing a podcast. You know, like I think there's like a room right behind me here. I'm pretty sure. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then there's someone above me. I always wonder, like, do you think they listen to the podcast? Do you think they know about the podcast? I'm always wondering, do you think I could be like the first big podcaster out of Roanoke? I wonder if there is podcasting in Roanoke. Podcasting in Roanoke, Virginia. Let's see if there is anything. Virginia Blue Ridge podcast. Here we go. There is stuff. Region podcast. The Commonwealth of Virginia has lifted mask mandates for fully vaccinated individuals, except on public transport. Yeah, we already know that. That was May 28th. Tourism news for Roanoke, Salem, Franklin County, and keep up with the exciting new developments in tourism. Episode 29, Score the Roanoke Ball Yard Dogs. No, they ain't got nothing like I got. They got nothing like I got, man. What's the closest city to us? 100 Greensboro, North Carolina. 104 miles away. Charleston, Charlotte, Nashville is about... I want to go to Nashville really bad. It's definitely a place I want to go. That's another cool thing. Like being able to like vacation around here is pretty nice. Hopefully by next summer we'll be able to go places when I'm making money. It's been rough, man. Like not having an income is hard, dude. I mean, I'm doing it fine. I don't want to sell any of my crypto. I might have to, but we're doing fine. You know, Taylor's working full time. Like this, I think this is like the advantage of Roanoke Weekly podcast on the Apple Podcasts. They have, yeah, see, but they haven't uploaded since March 20th of 2019. Killing me, guys. You guys got to keep uploading, bro. You got to keep uploading. You guys can't just stop. Got to keep going, man. Okay, this has been one thing that's been bothering me. And, you know, maybe I won't get into it. No, we're not going to get into it. We're just going to let that go. Cost of mask and test deepens a pandemic wedge between the haves and the haves not. Have you guys looked this up yet? How many masks are in the ocean? Here you go. This is going to go against the narrative here. Okay, so this is as of July 30th of 2020. Yeah, July 30th, 2021. It's like 6 months ago. An estimated 1.6 billion disposable masks wound up in the ocean in 2020, creating a vast pile of floating plastic waste and threatening marine life across the planet. Hey guys, all you people out there who are talking about these masks and stuff, we got to stop wearing them because we used to just stick straws into turtles' noses, but now we just put it around their face and we just drown them in the, in the ocean. Fucking who's that dude? The dude from Nemo, just swimming around, and he's just choking like he's being tortured. This is from Visual Capitalist Database, a new pollution threat. In response to government mandates, the world's factories produced 52 billion disposable face masks in 2020. It's an estimate that 1.6 billion of them ended up in the oceans. Okay, so these are just running down a list of things that end up in the ocean for a certain amount of time. Cigarette butts spend 10 years in the ocean. Plastic grocery bags, 20 years in the ocean. 50 years of styrofoam cups. Aluminum cans, 200 years. Are you ready for this? Plastic bottles, disposable diapers, and disposable masks, 450 years in the ocean. We've put 1.6 billion masks in the ocean. Each one's going to be in there for 450 years. Shout out to saving the planet right there. Your mask, your fear of COVID is killing sea turtles. How does that make you feel? What are we going to do about that, huh? What are we going to do about that? We stop eating straws at Starbucks. Are we going to stop wearing masks because of the turtles? No, we won't do that. No, because we don't care about the turtles. We never cared about the turtles. Mass pollution from 2020 is equal to 7% of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a mass plastic debris that floats in the ocean. 5.5 trillion pounds of mask. Just kidding. It doesn't say pounds. I don't know what it says. That's so funny to me. It's not funny. It's bad. It shouldn't be happening, but this is what happens, man, when you wear all these plastic masks and they say wear N95s. I ain't rich, bro. Crazy. Those N95s cost so much. How much do those cost? N95. To be fair, man, when I was in school and I had to wear a mask, I wore the same mask all year. I swear to God, I wore the same exact mask all year. CDC says cloth masks do not protect against virus. Price. I'll see how much these things cost. N95 mask cost 50 pieces individually wrapped for $22. That's not N95 though. I'm gonna get a gas mask. The price of N95 mask are I don't know, $199. What? How much? What does that even mean? Okay, one pack of 40 KN95 mask from the Hotel Deal brand now costs $79.99. N95. Who produces them? Watch it be Pfizer. Pfizer, Moderna. Pfizer's vaccine, the mask intentionally doesn't work so you can get COVID. So then they give you a vaccine. Manufacturer. The biggest producer of N95s, KN95s. It's not going to tell me. Here we go. This is from CDC.gov. These are approved manufacturer list. Health Scope is the common one. Donating procedure uses. Yeah, Henox marketing. So there's a lot. Ho Chang Enterprise. The Home Depot has them too. Look at that. That's awesome. CDC suggestions to cancel football banned in nearly every U.S. school. Called unrealistic. Yeah, good luck with that. CDC is trying to cancel football. Dude, come on. I mean, what are we doing here? We're not going to cancel football. I know there's concussions, but this is crazy. I don't want my kids to play football, but you don't stop them. They're going to go to a friend's house. They're going to play. But the scientists at the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention had their way to curb the spread of COVID right now. Nearly every U.S. school would cancel football, wrestling, band, and loads of the mainstay school activities. Oh, they're not doing it for headaches. They're doing it for COVID. And another piece of guidance, CDC tells people who've recovered from COVID-19 that they can leave their homes after 5 days. Fuck off. I'm leaving my house whenever I want to. And while they are out and about for the next 5 days, they should avoid being around more than 80% of the U.S. public. What? What does that mean? 80% of the U.S. public? Huh? What's the group? What's the grouping? Dr. William Schaffner, an advisor to the CNN for 4 decades, sell out, said it's, quote, unlikely, unreasonable, and unrealistic, unquote, to think Americans will follow either of the agency's suggestions. Making public health recommendations, they are not a platonic deal. Schaefer added, they have to work in the real world. Such out-of-touch advice has been a hallmark of many CDC recommendations long before the pandemic began, and the agency needs to do better, said current and former health officials and physicians who have worked with the CDC health guidelines. As you say in Tennessee, that dog won't hurt, said Schaffner, an infectious disease expert at Vanderbilt University. You guys are a joke. No one listens to you guys anymore. I know people who have been backing the CDC the entire time. Once it came up with that 5-day thing, they went from 10 to 5 days. It's a complete joke. It's a complete joke. And we're listening to the CEO, the Pfizer CEO, he's he's fucking Superman. The dude's a joke. And then they're trying to cancel Joe Rogan. That's my issue. You can't do that. You can't cancel him. He's having legit doctors. The guy who developed the vaccine, mRNA vaccine, Dr. Robert Malone, a legit doctor, worked for the Department of Defense. We're at the Department of Defense. Peter McCullough, legit doctor. Brett Weinstein, legit doctor. Peter Holsch, a legit doctor. You can't cancel him. He's not doing anything wrong. I don't think he's doing anything wrong. Just don't listen then. And also, when you go ahead and try to cancel, and you try to get rid of things, you got to realize that when you do that, the people are looking at that like, why are they doing that? Why would you waste your time doing that? Is it because maybe he's saying some truth? Maybe that has something to do with it? I would think so. Anyways, you guys don't want to listen to me anymore. COVID-19 mandates fall apart. Navy SEALs denied religious exemption no longer. And also, they just came out and said that you can't force people to wear a mask, or you can't force people to get vaccinated for large employees. And that's the cool thing about America, because no matter how crazy things get, we still have a constitution. You can only do so much with the constitution. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. I'm going to go ahead and end the podcast here. I've rambled long enough. If you guys hear a podcast on Thursday, I'm going to be in a really good mood. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on Tuesday, hopefully. Sorry about the inconsistency. We're trying as much as we can. But thank you guys so much for listening. I'll see you guys next week or Thursday. Thank you so much for listening. Peace out. See ya. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend.